This is the next topic, relation between v and omega, where v is a linear velocity and omega is a angular velocity. So, what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity? If you consider any body of any shape, any rigid body, so this is a rigid body of this shape. Now, let us say this body is rotating here. So, this body is rotating, this is x axis, this is y axis, and let us say this is z axis. Let us say this body is rotating about y axis. While this body is rotating around y axis, we can have so many particles in this body, because it is a system of particles. Body means collection of so many particles here. Now, in this, let me consider any one particle. So, now let me take this particle, which is at a distance of r from the axis of rotation. Here y axis is the axis of rotation. So, this particle is going to move in the same sense, because as the body is rotating in this direction. So, from top if you observe, this is anti-clockwise direction. So, this particle is also going to rotate about this axis in the anti-clockwise sense only. So, each and every particle will travel or will rotate in the same sense. Now, let us say this is the particle P. After some time, let us say this reached a position P dash. So, this will be the new radius of this circular path. So, when the particle moves from here to here, from in this direction, this is the angle made by the radius vector at the center or at that axis of rotation. So, in this small interval of time, in a small interval of time, that is delta t, the radius vector changed from r to r dash. Radius is also a vector. So, position vector of that particle p with respect to this point, let us say you take this O. Similarly, the velocity vector here, this is the direction of velocity, here this is the direction of velocity. You can see this is the initial position, this is the final position. Velocity also changed from v to v dash. So, during this time, if you consider the motion of this particle, not only the single particle, if you consider any particle here, so this is also going to move in a circular path of radius r2, and this one, this is r3, this is r4, this is r5. So, all particles are moving in the same direction. So, what we can say, all particles of the body, all the particles of the body or of the system will rotate about the axis of rotation. Here in this problem, the axis of rotation is y axis in different circular paths. With different radii vectors, because this r is not equal to r2, this is r1, r2, r3, r4, r5. So, they are moving or rotating in different circular paths. What are the difference here? The radius is different, and also when the radius is different, the velocity is not constant here, velocity may be different. Why? Because the linear velocity not only depends upon this radius, it also depends upon the angular velocity. As the total body is revolving with the angular velocity omega, each and every particle will revolve in the same sense, in the same direction with the same angular velocity. So, omega will remain constant, but what is the velocity of this one? Let me take v1, this one v2, this is v3, this is v4, this is v5. So, as the distance is different, that velocity may depends upon radius and also the angular velocity. So, we will find the relation between these linear and angular velocities. Here, if you consider this triangle actually this is the origin. Let me take the C. So this is C, P, and this is a P dash. Here, even though this is a circular path, as the delta time is very small, I am taking a small interval of time, then P and P dash will be very nearer, and this will become delta theta. So in this time, this is the displacement. Let me take it as x. So what is this angular velocity? The angular velocity is given by angular displacement by time. Omega is equal to, what is angular displacement? Delta theta by delta t. If delta t tends to 0, then omega will become, limit delta t tends to 0, this will become delta theta by delta t. So omega is equal, we know that if this limit is very nearer to 0, this can be written as derivative of theta with respect to time. So this is the angular velocity. We know this is a radians, this is a seconds. So SI unit of this one is a radian per second, and the dimensional formula, the angle has no dimensional formula, time has dimensional formula, this is t minus 1. So already we derived this in the previous lesson also, but now here if you see this one here, the radius of this one is r, you can write what is sin theta. Sin delta theta is given by x by r. Why? Because as theta is very small, this and this are very nearer to r only. So sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. If sin theta is very small, you can write theta can be written as sin delta t will become delta theta will be x by r. This is equation 1. And this you can see in a logarithm book also. You already explained this one. Sin 0.003572 will be 0.003572. If this is measured in radians, and if theta is very small, sin delta theta will become delta theta. This is equation 1. Now you differentiate this one with respect to time. So if you differentiate this with respect to time, then you can write this as d theta by dt, with delta theta by delta t, when delta t is very small, and finally you get theta by dt will become, this is d by dt of x by r. What is this dx by dt? That is the rate of linear displacement, which is given by angular linear velocity by r. What is d theta by dt? I got d theta by dt is nothing but omega. So from this I am going to write omega is equal to v by r. So omega is equal to v by r. So this is the relation between v and omega. So we can write v is equal to r omega. So this is the scalar relation between velocity and omega, v and omega. Now how to write the vector form of this one? Remember students, v bar will be not equal to r bar cross omega bar. This is omega bar cross r bar. Please remember the difference. While writing scalar form, you can write v is equal to r omega, no problem, r omega r. But while writing in the vector form, v bar is equal to omega bar cross r bar. As we know that, as this body is rotating like this, so here this is the y-axis, axis of rotation, positive, and it is rotating around y-axis. So when it is rotating around y-axis, the angular velocity always acts vertically upwards. So this is the direction of omega bar. Now, it states that if you multiply omega with r, you will get velocity. Now, let me take this one, same one. I am taking this point P somewhere here. Let us say this is point P. So this is the point P here. So this is point P here. It is P is rotating in this direction. So what is the direction of velocity? For this, velocity is in this direction, because velocity is always tangential. So this is radius r. From the center, this is radius r. When this is the axis of rotation, that is y-axis. When it is rotating like this, omega is acting along the axis of rotation. It never changes its direction. So this will be along the axis of rotation y, omega. Now, how to get this direction of v here? Direction of v is given by omega cross r bar. Now, according to that, this right hand screw rule or right hand palm rule, omega is in this direction. Here, omega is upwards. Radius is in this direction. radius is in this direction. I am multiplying omega with r and velocity will be inside into this board. So this is correct. So from this you see velocity, this is omega upwards, this is r and velocity is in this direction. So v bar is equal to omega cross r bar. Suppose if you write v bar as r bar cross omega bar, you may get the same magnitude, but you will get a negative value here. Be careful, this is wrong. So with experience you will come to know that whether it is omega cross r or r cross omega. Here I am multiplying omega with r so that I will get a velocity. Here if you differentiate this with respect to time, so what you are going to get? So this is dv by dt, that is a rate of change of velocity is equal to d by dt of omega bar cross r bar. So what is this dv by dt? Rate of change of linear velocity is called angular velocity, a bar. Here omega, r is constant here, radius of this, if you consider this particular point, this radius always remains constant, the particle moves in the same circular path of radius r1 only. So I am going to take r common. So this will become d omega by dt cross d by dt of r bar. But r is constant here, so you can bring the r outside. So otherwise you can write only r, because as it is constant, bring it outside. So this a becomes omega, d omega by dt will become, we know this is r alpha, this is r. So as we studied this translatory motion, there we studied this velocity is equal to displacement by time or rate of change of displacement. Acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Similarly, on the base of that same equations, based on that one, we are going to derive this as well as this, where v bar, this omega bar is equal to d theta by dt, and alpha bar is equal to d omega by dt, and in vector form this is a bar is equal to alpha bar cross r bar. So a is equal to r alpha in scalar form without considering direction. So what is this alpha? Alpha is equal to angular velocity, angular acceleration, which is given by d omega by dt, and SI unit of this one, omega is measured in radian per second by time second. This is a radian per second square, and the dimensional formula, radian has no unit angle, and this is only t power minus 2, or you can write this as m power 0, l power 0, t minus 2. Here, while opening a door or closing a door, this is our door, and these are the hinges provided here. So this will be the axis of rotation. If we apply force here, let us say force applied is equal to 20 newtons, and that the width of the door is equal to 1 meter. How much torque is acting on this door? The torque acting on this door is given by F1 R1 sin theta, but here theta is 90 because force is acting like this, radius acting like this. So the angle between these two is 90. So F1 R1 sin theta or RF sin theta what will be? So tau 1 is given by 20 into distance 1 meter into sin 90. So this tau is given by 20 Newton meter. If the door is closing by using this force only, then the minimum torque required to close the door is this much, or minimum torque required to open the door is also this much. Now, if you want to apply force at the middle of the door, either to open it or close it, let us say here I am applying force into this one, so I am closing this door. But instead of here, if I apply force F2 here, at a distance of half meter from the axis of rotation. So now how much minimum force required to close the door? 20 newtons. So this is a 20 Newton meter. So tau. So this tau is given by force F2 into what is the distance of this one? Half. So this we know that minimum torque required to close the door is 20. So how much force has to be applied here to close the door? So this cross multiplication 22s are 40. So the force required here to close the door is 40. Now, if I want to apply force somewhere here, as the distance decreases, I need to apply more force. Why? Because we know that the minimum torque required to close the door is 20. As the distance decreases, I need to apply more force here. If you want to change the linear momentum of a body, let us say one body is moving, a particle is moving along a straight line with a velocity v, where the mass of the body is m. So we know that the momentum is given by p bar mass into velocity, because mass is a scalar, don't keep arrow here, and velocity is a vector, this is arrow. Now, if I want to increase this velocity, compulsory I need to apply some force on this particle. Already particle is moving with this velocity. To increase this velocity or to decrease this velocity, that means if I want to change the momentum, either to increase the momentum or to decrease the moment, I cannot change the mass of the body, because mass is always constant. I need to increase the velocity or decrease the velocity. That means when I am changing this velocity, what's the meaning of this one? I am changing the momentum. So to change linear momentum of a particle, I need to apply a force on to this particle. So force is required. Similarly, if a particle is moving in a circular path, or let us say it is rotating here. So now this radius is r. Let us say this is a particle of mass m moving here with a velocity v. We know that when it is moving in a circular path, velocity always perpendicular to the radius, and due to this one, the momentum of this particle at this point is given by p bar is equal to mv bar. How to change the linear momentum of this particle? Why? Because after some time the particle will reach this point. Here this will be the radius vector, mu radius vector r dash, and this will be the v dash. Why? Because the speed of the particle is constant in the circular motion, but the velocity as its direction changes, even v, magnitude of v is constant. Let us say this is 10 meter per second. Here also let us say this is 10 meter per second only. That means magnitude of velocity, that we call it as speed, is not changing, but the direction of the velocity is changing. That means if it is p1 here, here the momentum at this point will become p2 bar, which is equal by mv dash bar. Here mass has not changed, but momentum has changed. So here, when similar to this category, similar to this one, here it is moving along a straight line, but it is rotating in a circular path. In this case, the particle will have an analog to this linear momentum, similar to linear momentum. Here, if you want to change the angular momentum of this body, so we are using that word, to change. Here I wrote linear momentum along a line, but here this is angular momentum. To change angular momentum of the particle, we need torque. So torque is required to change the angular momentum. So what is this angular momentum? So today's topic is about angular momentum. This angular momentum is nothing but, we know that the torque is the moment of force, that is force into the perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation and application of force. Similarly, the moment of momentum is called angular momentum. Please remember this one. This is moment of momentum. So what is, how to find moment of force? That is force into distance. Similarly, what is meant by moment of mass? This is mass into distance. Similarly, what is meant by moment of momentum? That is momentum into distance. Or displacement, the perpendicular distance here. So this is denoted with the letter L, which is going to be momentum into radius. So L is equal to PR or RP, what it will be. So this is a PR, and what is the SI unit and dimension formula for this one? The SI unit of this one is given by, we know that momentum is kg, mass, meter per second, into distance is measured in meter. So this will become kg meter square second power minus 1. Similarly, dimensional formula is momentum is mass into velocity into the distance L, which is given by ml square t minus 1. So this is the dimensional formula for angular momentum, which is analog to linear momentum in a translatory motion. When a particle is moving in xy plane, this is xy plane, here one particle of mass m is moving with a velocity v like this. Now, this is about the origin here. So, this is the origin, this is the position vector of this one arc. So, how to find the angular momentum of that particle of mass m? The angular momentum is given by the momentum into the distance of that particle from the origin. Why? Because while finding angular momentum, we can find angular momentum about any point. In general, if it is not mentioned, always consider about the origin. So here I am going to find out angular momentum of this particle about the origin. So which is given by, what we are going to do, we know that angular momentum is moment of this one. So L is equal to Rp Rpr in scalar form, but in vector form, I am starting from this point O. So this is the position vector r bar, and here let us see the velocity. We know that velocity always perpendicular to this one, radius vector or position vector. So now what is the momentum of this one? The linear momentum of this particle is mv. This is linear momentum. So we know that according to this vector product of the vector or cross product of these vectors, if it is the first vector, we have to multiply this with the second vector, that is momentum vector. So L bar is given by R bar cross P bar. So this is the angular momentum in vector form. So which we can write it as L is equal to Rp sin theta. So this is the magnitude of this one. Now what are the different cases here? If the particle is at rest, let us it is not moving in this direction, let us it is at rest. If the particle is at rest, then we can say the velocity of the particle is 0. When the velocity is 0, we know P is equal to mv, so momentum will be 0. When the particle linear momentum is 0, the angular momentum will also equal to 0. Then, second one, if angle between this momentum, linear momentum of the particle and the position vector is 0. So now not in this case, let us say I am going to take this xy plane only, but here let us say the particle is moving in this direction. This is the velocity of the particle. Now if you join these two, so this is the position vector, this is a particle of mass m, and this is moving in this direction. So what is the momentum here? That is mass into velocity. But what is its direction? It is this position vector or this displacement vector is making angle theta here. Similarly, this is also making some angle theta. What is the angle between P and R? If P and R are parallel to each other, where that means theta is equal to 0, then this will become 0 because sin 0 is equal to 0. So when you are finding momentum of this particle about the origin, if the particle is moving in the direction of the position vector, then the momentum should become 0. Similarly, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, this case, here the angular momentum is given by Rp sin 90 degrees, so which is equal given by L is equal to Rp. Now, if this angle is like this, 270, it is in this direction. If you take from R to this one, this is 270 degrees. If theta is equal to 270, always we have to measure the angle from position vector to that velocity vector. So now in this case this will become L is equal to Rp sine 270, which is given by minus Rp. When the angular momentum is positive or when the angular momentum will be negative. In general, if these angles are not mentioned, whenever a particle is moving in anti-clockwise direction, if particle is moving, that means velocity in anti-clockwise direction, you consider this angular momentum as positive. So L is positive if the particle is moving in anti-clockwise direction. Now suppose if the particle is moving in clockwise direction, so then for clockwise velocity, clockwise movement or clockwise rotation, then the angular momentum L is always negative. So please use this convention while measuring the L value, whether it is positive or negative. In this case, if you take this L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar, how to find the direction of the angular momentum? So for this we have to use right hand palm rule. This is the position vector and this is the momentum, then the angular momentum will act in the direction of the thumb. So this is outwards. So as this particle is going to move in a circular path here about this axis, so that means angular momentum acts along the axis of rotation. So angular momentum acts along the axis of rotation. Now, if you take this particle of mass m, which is having velocity v here, now to find out the angular momentum about this one, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So about this point origin, if point is not mentioned, I told you, you have to find out the angular momentum about the origin. Now, let the distance is r. So what is the angular momentum here? This is r cross p sine theta, that is here 90. So this is r, this is p vector, p bar. So this will be rp. Now, if this particle is moving like this in this direction, then how to find the angular momentum? So this will be the new momentum direction. So this will be mass m, this v. So this is p bar is equal to mv bar here. How to find the angular momentum? Always while finding this L, please see that this position vector or this perpendicular distance is perpendicular to this p bar. So this is p bar. So extend this line here like this. Now you draw one line from the origin. So this will be the perpendicular line here. If it is r, let us say this is angle theta, this will be angle theta, this will be 90 minus theta, because this is 90, this will be 90 minus theta, and this component here it will become theta. So this, if it is r, and this component will become r cos theta, and this component will become r sin theta. Now you can see this is the direction of the momentum vector and this is the direction of the component of the r value here. So then L is given by this vector into this vector, so which is given by r sin theta into the momentum p. So L is equal to r p sin theta. Once again it is nothing but r bar cross p bar. One particle is moving along x-axis. Let the mass of this particle is m and it is moving with uniform velocity v. Now I want to find out the angular momentum of this particle at different places. To find out this one, now this is the point, let us say O, and it is at a distance r from this initial position of the particle. So what is the angular momentum of this particle about O in its first position? So I am going to write this as L1, which is given by this perpendicular distance and momentum p. So this will become Rp. what is the angle between this r and p here? As you know, this is 19. So this is r sine 19. So L1 is equal to the perpendicular distance into the momentum here. Let us say the momentum of the body is not changing. That means it is neither changing its direction nor changing the magnitude of velocity. So let us say this particle reaches somewhere here. So let me take this point as 2. Now the distance between these two is r1. Let us say it is making some angle alpha here. So what is the angular momentum of this particle at this point? About this point. Always we are measuring the momentum about this point only. So L2 is given by, so formula is r cross p. What is r here? This is the distance. So I have to write r1p, and if you extend this one, this is the momentum, this is r1 vector, angle between these two is alpha. So I have to write r1p alpha. But you can write this as r1, momentum is not changing. What is sine alpha here? Sine alpha is given by opposite side by hypotenuse, which is given by r by r1. Here r1 get cancelled. L2 once again equal to rp only, or pr. Now after some time, let us say the particle reached this point 3. Now the distance between these two is given by r2 here. So if you join these two, this will be r2. Let us say angle is beta. So what is the angular momentum of this particle here? So L3, angular momentum of this particle when it is at 3, about this point O is given by this distance into the momentum. The momentum is not changing because particle is moving with constant velocity here. So this will be r3p sine beta. So L3 is given by r3 into p into, what is sine beta? Once again, opposite side by hypotenuse, which is given by r by r3. So these two get cancelled. This is rp, rpr. So L3 is also given by rp. You can see this when the particle is moving, that means if it is moving with constant velocity or constant linear momentum, the angular momentum is also not changing about this point. But if the same particle is moving in a curved path, just like a projectile, then how this linear momentum as well as angular momentum changes, we will learn now. In case of a projectile, let us say it is thrown from this point of projection and it is moving in a parabolic path. So while moving in a parabolic path here, so particle changes its velocity at different points. Here it is not moving with constant linear momentum. Let us, the initial velocity is v naught, angle is theta, the horizontal component of velocity is v naught cos theta, the vertical component of velocity, initial vertical component of velocity v naught sin theta. We know that for a projectile, the horizontal component of velocity never changes. It remains as v naught anywhere. Now even at the maximum height, this will be v naught cos theta. So this is v naught cos theta. So throughout its journey, this velocity remains as v naught cos theta. But what about this vertical component of velocity? This will be vy1. This is vy2. See here, I am reducing the height of this vector, and finally this is 0 here in vertical direction. This is vy3, and finally it strikes the ground with the same vertical velocity but in opposite direction. That is, if it is v naught sin theta, it will be minus v naught sin theta. Only the direction will change. Now, this point is called maximum height. Now I want to find out angular momentum of this projectile of mass m about the origin. So about origin, L bar is given by r bar cross p bar. What is r bar here? The distance of this momentum. First of all, let me find out the momentum of this particle. We know that the particle will not have any velocity in the vertical upward direction here. It has velocity only in the horizontal direction. So it has velocity in the horizontal direction means it will have only momentum in the horizontal direction. So what is the momentum of this one at this point? So this is mass into V naught cos theta. This is R cross P, which you can write RP sin theta. But here I am not writing theta here, let me take alpha. Now, so this is a P vector, that is m V naught cos theta. So what is the position vector of this particle with respect to this? I need to take only the perpendicular distance between the point and the momentum vector. So this is the momentum vector here. This is the point, this is the horizontal line. So I need this one. So to find out this one, I am not going to write this one. Directly what I am going to write, the perpendicular vector of here is given by H max. So this R bar is equal to H max. So this is L bar. What is the angle between this H max and this vector? It is clear this is 90. So I can write sine 90 degrees. We know that sine 90 is equal to 1. So L bar is given by V naught square sine square theta by 2g. This is the maximum height of a projectile into m V naught cos theta into the sine 90 will become 1. So its magnitude is given by m V naught cube, because V naught square into V naught will become V naught cube, sine square theta into cos theta by, and denominator will be 2g. And very important problem, especially for competitive exams.